My boss fired me for taking bereavement leave. Now she's begging for a job at the company I founded. I still remember her exact words. People die every day. Your grandma isn't special enough for you to miss our client meeting. 3 years later, my former boss is sitting in my waiting room with a resume, completely unaware she's interviewing with the unreliable employee she fired. When my grandmother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, I'd been at Wilson Happians for just over a year. As her only family, I requested 3 days off to be with her in hospice. My boss Laura's response was a cold email. Request denied. The Harrington presentation is Thursday. Glyphants is mandatory. I explained my grandmother raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 8. She was literally all the family I had left in the world. Laura's reply came within minutes. I'm Senna's sad stories. The company can't stop for personal problems. My grandmother died holding my hand on Wednesday night. I texted Laura that I wouldn't make Thursday's meeting. By Friday morning, my key card was deactivated, and security was boxing up my desk. We need reliable team players, Laura told me as I collected my things, not emotional liabilities who abandon responsibilities when things get tough. I was devastated, not just from losing my grandmother, but from being treated like my grief was an inconvenience. I spent 2 weeks barely functioning, alternating between tears and numbness. Then something unexpected happened. The Harrington client Pern, the one whose meeting I'd missed parent, reached out directly. They'd overheard Laura mocking my family emergency and were disgusted. They wanted to work with me independently. That first client became the foundation of Ember Creative, my digital marketing agency. I poured everything into building a company where compassion wasn't seen as weakness. Within 3 years, we grew to 47 employees and took over 2 floors in a downtown high-rise pen directly across from Wilson Hedgen's struggling office. Yesterday, my assistant informed me we had a last-minute interview for a senior position. She seems desperate, he whispered. Lost her job when Wilson downsized last month. I almost laughed when Laura walked in, her confident smile freezing when she recognized me for a moment. I considered being petty parter, making her squirm through an interview before rejecting her. Instead, I simply asked, "Do you remember what you told me when my grandmother was dying?" Her face flushed. That was business, nothing personal? Exactly, I nodded. And this is business too. We've built Ember on the radical idea that employees are humans with lives and families that matter. I needed a leader when I was at my lowest. You chose to be a boss instead. I stood up and handed back her resume. I am not going to humiliate you or mock your situation. That's not who I am, but I can't hire someone who sees compassion as weakness. As she left, I noticed her hands trembling. Maybe it was cruel not giving her a second chance, but some lessons need to be learned the hard way. How you treat people on their worst days reveals who you truly are. Some call it karma. I call it the natural consequence of forgetting that before we are employees, bosses, or professionals, we are human beings first.